Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'm just continuing the Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power series. Today's video is titled Master Your Destiny, and it is about Law 29, Plan all the way to the end. The judgment of this chapter is, the ending is everything, plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. In this chapter, Robert Greene emphasizes the need to plan strategically and primarily thoroughly. So not just having one step, two steps, but maybe 5, 6, or 7 steps planned in advance. When setting out on any venture, it is imperative that we have a clear vision of what it is we seek to gain. Once we have determined a clear and resolute goal, it is time to plan for contingencies. So what he's trying to say there is that not only should you think about your goal, but you should think about any consequences that come with it, any new enemies that you might create, any new problems that could occur by you pursuing this goal. Like, you really want to plan thoroughly. Often, people make the mistake of being too vague in their plans, and rather than having a logical goal, they are driven by their emotions. One thing Robert Greene really clarifies here is that most people have emotional goals. They don't have logical goals. Instead, they're driven by their heart rather than their mind. So you, to play the game of power successfully, should have goals that you have thought through in advance, taking into consideration all the things we mentioned before, like consequences. When driven by emotions, we fail to see potential dangers and threats to our success. We can be driven to do foolish things that lead to our downfall and see sheep where there may be wolves. So again, Robert Greene is just emphasizing here the idea that there are consequences, there are potential threats and enemies, there are risks associated with anything that we do. One of the things he really emphasizes is that one thing you want to make sure is that someone else doesn't steal the credit for your success. And so that should be included in your plan all the way to the end. Instead, we must plan diligently and thoroughly with a clear goal in mind. In pursuit of this goal, it is necessary to avoid the siren call of more, as this may lead to opposition and eventually our downfall. So it's very important that you have a clear end goal in mind. You can't just keep going, and conquering or doing whatever it is, succeeding, without having some sort of stopping point. What Robert Greene emphasizes is that when you don't have a clear point at which your goal has been achieved and you can stop and reevaluate or pull back, you're potentially risking creating new enemies, new problems, and new consequences in the future. And so that's something that you want to avoid. Essentially, if you simply get lost in the pursuit of what you are doing, you will lose yourself in that pursuit and aggravate those around you. So again, just more emphasis on what we just discussed. And when you read the chapter, you'll see some of the stories that Robert Greene mentions and brings up that cause people problems and how they don't see and follow this rule and law of power. And it's very important. If you carefully and strategically move to your goal and desist your forward movement once reaching it, people will think of your capacity for foresight and execution as otherworldly. Here, Robert Greene really talks about Greek mythology. And in Greek mythology, he explains the gods have this full vision of life. They can see the future, the past, and so they're not necessarily bound by human emotions. Whereas humans live in the present moment. We're bound by our emotions and the problems and things going on around us. And so it's hard for us to have foresight. It's hard for us to think into the future and plan ahead. But the people who do have this otherworldly appearance, that they're just so in control and everything happens for them smoothly and successfully. And so Robert Greene really emphasizes that that's how you want to make your plans. In conclusion, few people make a plan, and even fewer make a plan oriented around clear and conceivable goals. Be one of the few who plans several steps into the future, takes action, and withdraws that action once having achieved the goal. This is very necessary for your appearance of power, let's say, as the book might go into. So, I'm going to finish with this quote by Margaret Thatcher: plan your work for today and every day, then work your plan. And that's really the emphasis of what this chapter is all about by Robert Greene, that you should have a plan, you should have clear goals, and you should have a clear endpoint, and that's how you will be successful. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed that, hit a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Take care.